So thanks very much for turning up. It's a really proud night for our family, and it's nice to see a load of familiar faces out here, so thanks again. And I'm just going to introduce you to the person who's going to look after us this evening. Please welcome Ian Clayton.
You might be able to hear me without a microphone, but is that all right? Can you hear?
Yes.
I suppose I've got to say it, haven't I? If ever there were a time to do something celebratory about Featherstone and its rugby team, it's now. Yeah. We all need a tonic. Because this story is the story of a rare achievement, of one man having a dream and sharing it with some very willing volunteers who also shared this dream to do this. Build it and they'll come idea. What a fabulous story it is. But it doesn't start with the visit to Scarborough. It starts with a dream that came true. You know, it starts with the dream of a young athletic man who originally played soccer, switching to rugby, and then signing professional terms. And within 2 years, appearing at Wembley for the team that signed him, and winning a Challenge Cup final medal by the age of 20. Again, a remarkable story. You know, that year in 1973, when Sunderland beat Leeds United in the FA Cup, Featherstone pulled off an even better shock and beat an highly fancied Bradford Northern. Didn't just beat Bradford Northern, thrashed Bradford Northern 33 points to 14, and Paul was in that team. So I'm going to do a couple of readings from this book tonight with Paul's permission. These are the first time Paul's words will have been uttered in public, and it starts with the homecoming from that famous Wembley visit. That homecoming will stay with me forever. We climbed the steps to an open-top bus outside the Horse and Jockey pub in the village of Eggborough. The bus made its way through Nottingley, past the glassworks where there was a big contingent of Rovers supporters. Pontefract was next, and as we came up Horsefair, past the bus station, I got a big lump in my throat as I caught a glimpse of my mother and my grandmother. They'd come on bus from Airedale to wave and cheer. By the time we got to Featherstone, the fans were 6 and 7 and 10 deep on every pavement. As we rode past Cyril Kellett's local Green Lane Working Men's Club, the bus stopped as a tribute to Cyril. A man came out of the club with a tray full of spirits in small glasses, which quickly made their way onto the bus to be passed around. And on Station Lane, the crowds grew even more. We finished up at the town hall in Purston Park. We were shown out onto the balcony where a mass of people had assembled underneath on grass. And every single player took it in turns to lift the cup up, and the crowd cheered every one of us. The camaraderie in that team was second to none. From seasoned international players like Stevie Nash and Jimmy Thompson, to staff members like Fred, our redoubtable groundsman, and Trevor, the bagman. Our coach, Peter Fox, had blended us into a set of lads who were all for one and one for all. We would have done anything for each other. It sounds corny, but it was true. In my wildest dreams, I could not have imagined that in less than 3 years into my career, something like this could happen. First lovely surprise of the evening is to welcome some of the heroes from that day in 1973. So I'm going to ask you to come down, lads. I know you're shy and you probably don't want to, but I'm going to ask you, Jimmy Thompson, will you come down, please? And the captain of that great side, John Noble. Some of the other lads from that team, some of them are past, obviously, but some of them are still with us, and they were invited as well, but I've had to give apologies. John Bridges had to give apologies, unfortunately, and there was an attempt to contact Stevie Nash, but he's not so well these days, and he couldn't come. And Mick Smith, who scored that famous try, was going to come, but unfortunately he can't be with us. But these lads are. I've got to start with you, John, as captain of that team. When I've looked back on footage from that final, and I see you all in the tunnel and you're getting ready to lead them out, you look like a man who knew he was going to win.
Do you want me to?
Yeah, well, no, just from there. Can you hear? I'll take microphone.
Well, as I say, I think that year everything went right for us right from the beginning, and I think everybody was that confident. We knew we were going to win that day, definitely.
Yeah.
And Peter worked his magic every round by telling people, when we played Wellington in the third round, he complained about the referee not being this and this, and that worked as well. And then we played Cass in the semi-final, and he kept saying we didn't want Dennis Hartley playing and all this, which he did do. And anyway, he did play, and it worked in our favour. So we were very confident, yeah.
You scored 2 tries that day, John.
Yeah.
And you were almost on an hat-trick.
Yeah. Mick Smith made a break, and I backed him up, and I was looking for that third try, but he had other ideas, and he ended up scoring a brilliant try. So
I don't think Mick Smith were going to let go of that ball when he got that run. And the older ones in here will remember that try, because it was replayed on grandstand for years after, wasn't it? Can you remember?
That's right, yeah.
He zigzagged in and out of 5 or 6 players to score.
He was lucky in a way, but he was brilliant in another way.
Yeah.
So I was happy for him, and I was happy for the team as well, because it put us further in front.
Yeah. Paul Coventry tells me there were 3 times in first half he could have passed to him.
Well, in 1967, Mick Smith played standoff.
Yeah.
And we went to watch a video of that night at Wakefield Prison.
Yeah.
And Peter Fox says to me, he says, count how many times Mick Smith passed the ball in this match. And it turned out he only passed the ball 4 times in the match. So obviously a different type of standoff to when I played. So.
Yeah.
But he was behind the forwards. He had a good pack that day, and they did the job.
Yeah. Let's move on. Thanks, John. Let's move on. What was it like to be in that Featherstone team at that time, Manny?
It was a dream, to be quite honest. Something growing up as a school kid in Featherstone, and playing for Featherstone was amazing, to be quite honest. And that were all down to my mother.
Really?
It was all down to my mother. I had the opportunity at that time to sign with Wigan, and because she was a season ticket holder, she went, "Barmy, you are not." signing, and she got me signed on with Featherstone, to be quite honest, which, looking back, best thing I ever did, and especially Wembley, and like John's just been saying, and you'll have to excuse me because I haven't got as good a memory as John, but one thing that sticks in my mind that, and I look on it and think, well, I helped win that cup because in the first round, as you know, rugby players all take the mickey, and I turned up, we got ready, and all lads said to me, "You haven't had a bloody shave." I said, "Well, no, so anyway, I said, I'll get a shave after game." So after game, we'd beat Salford, I believe it was it Salford?
First round.
In first round, yeah. Who was obviously one of the top sides. They got the international Welsh Rugby League, Rugby Union players playing for them, and we beat them. So I said, right, that's it, then I'm off in shower to get this off, seeing as you've all been on to me. You are not getting shaved until we get knocked out of the cup. And if you've seen the photographs at Wembley, you'll see me with this big beard.
Because there weren't many rugby players with big beards in
They wouldn't let me shave it off. So every round we won. So it got bigger and bigger and bigger. And then, when we won at Wembley, I shaved it off. And that's my story.
Good memory. Alan, it's based on a fantastic pack in that team, all through the 1970s. It would, well, I've got to say, the greatest pack in the game at the time.
It was at the time. Everybody had their own job.
Yeah.
If Peter Fox saw me around play the ball, he used to play bloody hell.
Did he?
Yes. Get away from that, play the ball, you're a runner. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody had their own job.
Yeah.
In that particular pack, and it worked. And plus the fact that Bridgie, we did get most possession. You know what I mean? You've got to have the ball, and there were proper scrums in them days. So once you got more possession, obviously they can't score. You score. And we were confident. I'll never forget. Once we'd won at Warrington, who were one of the top teams, I knew everybody knew. I mean, we went to play Cass, we were just assholes. We knew that we were going to win. It was about 17-3 or something. It was, you know,
17. It was 17-3.
Right, yeah. Well, and when we set off in final again, Bradford. I know, especially feeling. I thought Wembley, you know, you stood on that grass. I thought, give me bloody ball, you know. And as I say, game were over in about in first half.
It went in first 15 minutes.
Well,
nearly,
yeah,
wanted.
And it was. We were confident, if you know what I mean, and that does help a lot.
I was at that third round match at Warrington. It was 18-14. That was at Wilderspool.
Aye.
And it was astonishing. That shocked the rugby world.
Once we won there, everybody knew in our team that we were going to win.
Yeah.
I've still got the shirt on. This is the actual
Amazing.
Wembley shirt.
Is it really?
This is the one.
Thank you, John, for that.
That's like
There's not many blokes your age can still get into a shirt the wall when doing it. Yes, brilliant.
Yeah.
Jimmy, I mean, I'm standing next to a hero. My hero when I was a boy. Everybody talked about Jimmy Thompson, Great Britain international, but you were part of a great team as well, not just one man. You were a part of a great team, weren't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell me about your memories of that final.
That final?
Paul says it went by in a blur.
Well, it did. I remember more about 67.
Yeah, because you were only a young man, teenager still in 67, weren't you?
Yeah. Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
He said to me when I went out, I said, I might ask you a few questions. You mean, no, don't ask me any questions. But can I just say thank you? It's like standing among being among giants here with you lads. I'm thrilled to bits that you've come to support Paul on his book launch as well. And perhaps your books is going to be next, Jimmy. Perhaps your book will be next. Thanks to these Now we've got another Featherstone hero here tonight, and he wrote the foreword for this book. Would you welcome David Hobbs? Where's David? Just a quick one. I mean, you talk about standing on the shoulders of giants. You were the next generation to come after these lads. Were your heroes as well?
Well, I've always said throughout my career, these guys I've got them on my bedroom wall.
Yeah.
And I used to stare at them and wanted to be in their boots one day.
Yeah.
And it came true.
It did. A Lance Todd Trophy winner, David Hobbs. Okay, thank you very much. The next part of this is fantastic. I'm made up. It's what a lovely thing to do in times like these when we're all worried about various things and clubs, and in a week when we've lost two Featherstone heroes as well. I should mention Arnie Morgan and Ken Greatorex, because they were equal heroes to us all. Okay. This is, we now get into the part where we go to see the stand, and Paul first claps eyes on it and he wants to rebuild it. Just a reading first and then...
Why are you finished here?
Braille's not one of my strengths. The first thing I wanted to do was take Mark Ashton, my second recruit, over to Scarborough to get a second opinion on the stands. Roger suggested that we take Vince Farrer with us for moral support. Vince was retired himself and was spending a lot of time at the club. I've got a soundtrack. Vince was retired himself and was spending a lot of time at the club cheering everybody up in the process. We promised Vince a bag of fish and chips if he came with us. The four of us drove over to Scarborough with the chairman's extendable ladder, and up and over the fence we went. There must have been honey builders who ever broke into their own buildings. Roger climbed up onto the roof of the stands and shook his head when he saw just how complicated the steelwork was. But I knew he'd stick by me when I said I thought it could be done. Whenever we were presented with the opportunity for a new project with Cov & Co, Roger Chalkley's motto was always, "Covo, never say no." And this time was no different. Though he did joke that when surveying the wreck of the stadium, that we should have driven straight past it, had us fish and chips on beach, and gone straight back over here. Mark Ashton gave me the professional second opinion that I was seeking. He said that he was confident that the stands could be uplifted, modified and reused at Post Office Road, but we'd need a structural engineer to plan out the rebuild. Vince Farrer thought we were crackers. So there you are. He's a good writer, Paul, isn't he?
That was a serious comment.
That was a serious comment. Now, we're going to see a short film that Paul's put together with the help of his family to show how this project progressed and just how the dream was achieved. A filmmaker as well. We talked a little bit to David Hobbs before, and David wrote a fabulous foreword for this book that somehow encapsulates the community spiritedness of Featherstone and what it means to represent this place, if you like. I'm just, with your permission, David, I'm just going to read the first couple of paragraphs of it. In Featherstone, rugby league is not just something you watch or play, it's something that you live. Behind the 13 players on the pitch is a community carved at the coalface where grit, graft and a willingness to get on with things are who we are. Everybody has a place on this team. At least that's what Paul Coventry believed when he set out to build a stand at our rugby ground with no capital and barely a workforce to speak of. Just the belief and a dream that a community like ours could get it done. But did that community still exist 30 years on from our days as players? Did the same fighting spirit that lifted us through 67, 73 and 83 Challenge Cup wins and kept us afloat during the 1984 miners' strike still live here? Or were those days gone? Not in Paul's mind. As Post Office Road Stadium coordinator, he saw an opportunity in Scarborough Football Club's defunct stands where others saw dereliction and decline. He was convinced he could dismantle them, transport them 70 miles and re-erect them at Featherstone with little help from his friends, ex-players, retired miners, supporters, family and old pals. It's beautiful words. Many of the stars of the film that you saw also contributed to this book as well. They were first volunteers and then skilled workmen, and then they told stories to support Paul for the book. And we need to say a big thank you to them too. So if you'll come down and you're gonna get a book apiece. Terry King. Johnson, Alan, Paul Fowler, John Parker, Raymond, Pete Clarkson, Ray Paul, Mick Smith, Robin Simpson, Ray Hanscom, Mark Ashton, well, I think we need to. We haven't missed anybody, have we? Alan?
Alan who?
Alan. Alan Turner. I said Alan Turner. Come on, Alan. We'll have a quick word. I can't talk to them all that. Peter, you're an experienced person in construction, so you should have known what you were letting yourself in for.
Absolutely.
Just tell us a little bit about how you got involved.
I'm walking my grandson round by training wheels, and they were putting up the training shed. By that time they'd got some of the steel work, I think all were up, and I got involved in helping with training shed, and sort of wandered over and said to the lads, can I give you a hand?
Yeah.
So you can, you know, I can turn my hand to, and it turned into about 2 years.
Graham, I think you famously said you'd do anything to help them apart from up the tin and paint.
Get some with you.
Yeah. I mean, you must be proud now to have seen the whole thing. Yeah.
Great, yeah. Really enjoying every day. Good days, wet days, dry days, sunny days, snow.
Yeah. Are you one of them blokes who said that when you retired you thought you'd relax a little bit, but never did?
I've only retired on July 1st this year. I'm only 77.
Oh well. All right. Come on. Let's have a word with Otsy. Otsy, how did you come to be involved in this? Not shy, well, I picked on you. Go on.
Somebody told me Cobo wanted volunteers.
Yeah.
I came down Rovers,
Yeah.
and I was talking to a woman, and she says, oh, you get in touch with Cobo, and then he says, are you coming with us to Scarborough? I thought it was a day out, you know, at the beach. You know, so I ran with it.
You're reading this, but Otsy had a fantastic story to tell about, not to do with the construction, but in 1967 Challenge Cup final, he was at sea, wasn't you?
Yeah.
Go on, tell that story quick.
No, it's in book.
No. Oh, it's in book, you have to read it. Reg, you were quite a skilled craftsman in your working life, weren't you? Working with great tolerances.
Well, when Alan first told me about what we're doing at Rovers, I did like a shot. And I thought, well, you'll stand 6 months, 9 months, I'll do 9.5 years.
9.5 years?
9.5 years. And I always remember something that Roger said. He said, what we're doing here will never be replicated in the world, ever. Anyway, we will.
That's a lovely thing to say. Right, okay, you can take your seats back down, lads. We're going to move it on. Thank you all very much.
Yeah, I never know.
This is how Paul thinks all offers look like.
I only know one offer that looks like this.
Lovely
Got
job.
it? And the next one. You want to borrow this berry?
I've never done.
Cheers, guys.
Okay, right, thank you. There's no show without punch.
Hey.
And so now, would you welcome the man whose dream came true, the man who's put a beautiful Featherstone story together, Paul Coventry.
I don't know how where's this. I mean, I ain't got a bolt patch like him.
No.
I think your head's small for it.
Yeah.
Head's not small.
This is my family. 4 granddaughters, all beautiful. Looks after me. And this is my son. Nobody recognised him.
No, you don't look like you at all. Well, I'd just like to say again, thanks for coming. Lots of familiar faces and friends. It warms my heart to see you here. I'd like to thank the council, the guys in the corner, the gangsters, for helping us having this great facility. Wonderful. And there'll be other thanks as we go along. And now Ian tells me that book launches have a certain protocol, but I'm not sure this is going to follow that. The book is predominantly about the stand build, but to give it some background, it covers how a scrawny kid from Airedale and Featherstone under-17s came to arrive at Featherstone. As Ian has shown, my inspiration to go the whole mile at Featherstone came from these players I played with. 6 heroes who turned out for me tonight, and one there. I can honestly say that we wouldn't be here tonight if it wasn't for my teammates and their no-nonsense approach. We've got a job to do, let's get on with it. This is a tough bit for me. And I forgot my pin. Right. I'd like to acknowledge a Rovers hero who's not with us now, but took a trip to Scarborough with us all those years ago. He was called a lion, and his heart was as big as anyone I knew. So, from my son to his son, I'd like to give a gift of a book to Dave Farrer in the memory of Vince. Tough job this. I'm sure you'd like to know how it all started. Ian's gone through most of it, but this one he didn't know. It all started with my old teammate from the days of Featherstone and later at Featherstone Rovers was doing some plumbing work at my house. And at coffee times we would chat about things I got up to at the club. That's when he'd say, "There's a book in this cobbo," and a distant voice would chirp up. I've been telling him that for years, so I got it from both sides. Please, I'd like to see at least the guy. Please stand up, Bob No. Saying, "I've been telling him for years, just give us a wave." Wave. Time went by and Knock would call round to our house to see if I was still writing the book. It was nice to see him, and he'd always come round with bums anyway. So here tonight, Knocker, Richard's going to give you a book you've long waited for. Whilst writing the book, we would often see Ian quite often on Friday morning shopping in Ponty. And he said he would have a look at the book when I thought it was finished. This we did, and through Ian Clayton's help and Ian Daly, the publisher who's filming tonight, we put together what we think is a remarkable story. It took quite a while, and it was started last year. I also had a mentor. You probably didn't know. during writing. I also had a mentor during the writing who himself had written a book about Featherstone Rovers. He would review it and encourage me all the way. That's Graham Chalkley. Take a bow. Told you some thank yous. Well, it's 10 years since we finished the stands, and I'm 10 years older. Catching up on those guys at the time would have been in their late 60s and early 70s. I can now relate to what aches and pains they must have had when building the stands. So all those shouting and bawling to you, Otsy, I know how you feel now. The volunteers who have contributed to the book have been recognised, but there are a few who couldn't contribute as they are no longer with us. They were pals of mine and deserve a mention. Stuart Jodrell, Keith Aubrey, Roger Chalkley. But the families are here tonight, and I would like to give them a book in their memories. Go girls. And Gringo gets one as well. This book couldn't have been completed without the help of a big friend. He gave me over 1,000 photographs to look at. 1,000. And I had to go through them all. And I had to decide what was going to be in the book. So from 1,000 I had to whittle it down to 70, something like that. I've got drawn up at calls because that were too long. That were a task and a half to try and get that whittled down. So this guy deserves recognition, and that's Alan Turner. Stand up, Alan. I've written about Alan in the book. And we go back to when I was 15. That's how far we've known each other. And Alan was a great soccer player. And he ran a football club called Airedale Athletic. And it went on for years and years and years. It wouldn't have done without Alan. So we met again when the Scarborough stands appeared. And it was a great feeling for me to see him again. But if you read about him in the book. Okay, so we're coming to the end. And the book, or shall I say, Rovers, have a proud history, and it's recorded and documented. And these achievements, the 83, the 73, the 67, these can't be erased. Well now, the book, with this book, Our Last Stand, the remarkable work carried out by the Featherstone volunteers and the fans will also be remembered and go down in history. So once again, thank you for coming. There's teas, coffees, and I've splashed out and paid for expensive mince pies. I know some of you will be hanging back wanting books, so one would hope. So here we go. I'd like to thank you again. Oh, I've just got one other thing. Somebody else would like to say thank you as well.
I can't be with you today. I'm going on my holidays, but I can't let this day go by without saying thank you to all of you. Just over 4 years since I got a phone call from Paul saying, do you fancy having a ride through to Scarborough, have a look at a couple of stands we might want to pull down. And I thought, go on then, I'll have a ride through. fish and chips, paddling at sea, fetch some rock back for kids. Anyway, we got through to Scarborough. There were Paul, myself and Vince Farry. When we got there, there were weeds, round ground, in ground, bigger than me, 6 foot tall. Anyway, we scrambled up at fence and I managed to get up on the roof. And if you look at this roof at back of me, it is pretty intricate. But when you get up there, I thought it was intricate. Now you can see what I mean by it's a spider's web. And this is what met me. I stood up there and I thought, he's lost it this time, that's Paul. He's had too many bangs on the head. If he thinks we're taking this down and putting it back up, well, anyway, that's what's happened. So I might have had a bang on the head as well. Right, so they're up these stands now. And it's all to do with you that's there today. If you want to be involved with your labour, financial, and materials, this would not have happened. It just wouldn't have happened. So I want you to enjoy your afternoon. Hope team has a good afternoon. And once again, thank you to all of you. See you soon.
I can't add anything apart from to say I've been to a lot of book launches. This has been the most heartwarming one. Thank you all for being a part of it.
I need, yeah, find Rob.